At 3:17 a.m. in the Persian Gulf, a sudden flash lights up the dark sky. Seconds later, a massive explosion shakes an American oil tanker moving through one of the most dangerous waterways on Earth. Crew members rush across the deck as flames begin rising into the air. Emergency signals are sent out. Within minutes, radar systems across the region detect multiple missile launches. In Washington, military command centers are suddenly placed on high alert. And far out in the Persian Gulf, aboard a massive U.S. Navy aircraft carrier, fighter pilots are already running toward their F-18 Super Hornets. Engines start roaring. Weapons are armed. And within moments, the United States is preparing for a military response that could change the entire balance of power in the Middle East. But the real question is, was this just a single attack, or the beginning of something much bigger? Only minutes after the first explosion, the situation in the Persian Gulf begins to spiral into something far more serious. Emergency distress signals are broadcast across the shipping lanes. Nearby cargo ships slow down, while others immediately begin changing their course. From a distance, thick black smoke can already be seen rising from the damaged tanker. Crew members rush to contain the fire spreading across the deck. But the biggest question everyone is asking is simple. Where did the missile come from? Military surveillance systems across the region immediately begin tracking radar data. Satellites and monitoring stations analyze the flight path of the projectile. Early reports suggest that the missile may have been launched from an area close to the Iranian coastline. While officials avoid making direct accusations, the tension inside military command centers begins rising rapidly. Because the Persian Gulf is not just another waterway. It is one of the most strategically important regions on the entire planet. Every single day, nearly 1/5 of the world's oil supply passes through the narrow Strait of Hormuz. And because of that, the area is constantly monitored by some of the most advanced military systems on Earth. American surveillance drones patrol the skies. Naval destroyers move silently across the water. Submarines remain hidden deep beneath the waves. And at the center of it all, a powerful U.S. Navy carrier strike group is already positioned inside the region. When a distress call from the tanker reaches the Fleet Command Center, everything suddenly changes. Inside the aircraft carrier's command room, officers begin analyzing real-time satellite data and radar reports. Multiple screens display the location of ships, aircraft, and possible launch zones. The situation is developing extremely fast. Within minutes, the order is issued across the flight deck. Prepare fighter aircraft for rapid deployment. Ground crews immediately begin moving with urgency. Technicians roll F-18 Super Hornet fighter jets toward the launch catapults. Missiles are loaded onto the wings. Fuel lines are connected. Pilots wearing flight suits and helmets run toward their aircraft as alarms echo across the carrier. For these pilots, every second now matters. Because if this attack is confirmed to be hostile, the response from the United States could arrive faster than anyone in the region expects. And once those fighter jets leave the deck, there may be no turning back. Back on the aircraft carrier, the tension on the flight deck is reaching its peak. The massive engines of the fighter jets begin roaring to life. Ground crews move quickly between the aircraft, giving final signals to the pilots. Inside their cockpits, pilots begin running through the final checklist. Navigation systems active. Weapons systems armed. Communication channels secured. Everything is ready. Then suddenly, the signal is given. One by one, the F-18 Super Hornet fighter jets are launched from the carrier's deck. The powerful catapult system throws the aircraft forward with incredible force. Within seconds, the jets disappear into the dark sky above the Persian Gulf. Their mission is not yet officially confirmed, but military analysts believe these flights are part of a rapid response operation. Meanwhile, U.S. surveillance aircraft and drones begin scanning the surrounding region for any additional threats. Radar systems are watching closely for more missile launches. Because if this was the first strike, there's always the possibility that another one could follow. And that's exactly what worries military commanders the most. Across the region, air defense systems are also placed on high alert. Countries surrounding the Persian Gulf begin monitoring the situation carefully. For them, any escalation could immediately affect their own national security. At the same time, global oil markets begin reacting to the news. Traders understand that even a small military conflict in this region could disrupt one of the world's most critical energy supply routes. But the most dangerous moment may still be ahead, because once military forces start mobilizing in this region, the situation can change very quickly. And if retaliation begins, this incident could grow far beyond a single missile attack. While the U.S. fighter jets are already in the air, military analysts begin asking a much bigger question. Was this attack a random incident or part of a larger strategy? For years, Iran has developed one of the most extensive missile programs in the Middle East. Instead of relying only on large conventional forces, Iran has invested heavily in ballistic missiles, drones, and fast attack boats. These systems are specifically designed for one purpose: asymmetric warfare. In simple terms, this strategy allows a smaller military force to challenge a much larger and more advanced opponent. And nowhere is this strategy more effective than in the narrow waters of the Persian Gulf. The Strait of Hormuz is only about 33 kilometers wide at its narrowest point. That means any disruption here can immediately affect global trade and energy markets. Iran understands this extremely well. By using missile systems, naval drones, and coastal defense units, Iran can create significant pressure in this region without launching a full-scale war. But this also creates a dangerous situation, because once missiles start flying and military forces begin mobilizing, even a small mistake can trigger a much larger conflict. At the same time, intelligence agencies across the region begin monitoring Iranian military movements. Satellite images show increased activity near several coastal bases. Some analysts believe these movements could simply be defensive preparations, but others warn that it could also signal readiness for further escalation. Meanwhile, the U.S. Carrier Strike Group continues moving through the Gulf with its fighter jets, now conducting surveillance and patrol operations in the surrounding airspace. Both sides are watching each other closely. Neither side wants to make the first major move. But at the same time, neither side wants to appear weak. And in situations like this, the balance between caution and escalation can become extremely fragile. As the fighter jets continue patrolling the skies over the Persian Gulf, the entire world is now watching closely. Because history has shown many times that conflicts in this region can escalate very quickly. A single attack, a single mistake, or even a misunderstanding between military forces can suddenly change the course of events. Right now, both sides appear to be moving carefully. The United States has increased its military readiness in the region. At the same time, Iran continues to emphasize its defensive capabilities and strategic position along the Gulf. Meanwhile, global leaders and diplomatic channels begin working behind the scenes to reduce the tension. Because the consequences of a large-scale conflict here would not only affect the Middle East, it would impact global energy supplies, international trade routes, and the stability of financial markets across the world. And that is exactly why analysts are watching every development extremely carefully. For now, the situation remains tense but uncertain. The real question is not just what happened today. The real question is, what happens next? Will diplomacy calm the situation before things escalate further? Or could this incident become the beginning of a much larger confrontation in one of the most strategic regions on Earth? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: the Persian Gulf will remain one of the most closely watched places in the world.